superheroes. I'm Victoria Knight coming to you from Purdue University, College of Veterinary Medicine, League of VetaHumans, and welcome to Season 2. I'll be hosting today's VetaHuman Live. So, we're here kind of following up on our journey of our VetaHuman in training, IVANNASAURUS. Thank you so much for being on the show, IVANNASAURUS. So, kind of update us in the audience. What week are you in veterinary college, and how is it going so far?
I believe we're in week 9, which is more than halfway. So crazy.
So how's it going? Is it been picking up? Let us know.
Well, I think it's always been like picked up. I feel like there's never been like a chiller week. But I think we took 3 exams or like the end of last week and the beginning of this week. So 2 last week, beginning of this week, 1. And it's kind of like slowed down a little bit, but there's like so much to catch up on. So I just feel like I'm always playing catch up with stuff.
Yeah. What exams do you have this week?
This week we had physiology on Monday. Last week we had histology and anatomy on Thursday and Friday.
Gosh. Okay, so yeah, quite a bit. Back to back. Okay, so kind of talking about what happened last podcast. So kind of update us. I know you mentioned you were using sticky notes to kind of help with your time management. How has that been going?
It is wonderful. It's helped so much. I'm very grateful that you actually showed me the sticky note app on this laptop because I have like 7 open at all times. It's kind of overwhelming, but like it helps me to see everything that needs to be done, not just like academically, but also like personal life and like cleaning and things like that. So it's nice. I like it. It helps.
Yeah. And it's great. You can even like mark off what you've done and stuff. So, and you can bullet. It's quite good. Yeah. So I'm glad that's been really helpful and it's been going good. So I know you've also made it a go last month to kind of work on your learning objectives. How's that going?
I'm gonna be honest. I did not meet that goal.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah. I just think I got overwhelmed with how many learning objectives that there are that I ended up just not doing it. And I didn't feel like they were super concise or like directed to a specific topic. So I kind of just realized that I was just reading the PowerPoints all over again. And so that's okay. That's how I study now. But yeah, I just didn't do the learning objectives.
Okay, no worries. Or do you plan to try to keep up that goal, or are you going to try to steer to something else that seems to be working?
I think I'm going to steer away from that because it's not going to work for me.
At least you tried. Okay, well, I'm glad. So kind of tell us what has been your like biggest challenge in this past month and like how have you been overcoming it?
I'm very bad at procrastinating and like I think the more we get in there, the less motivated I'm feeling. And so then I start to procrastinate even more. But thankfully, because now that we have like the 3 exams already and we have this week that is like a little bit more laid back, that I'll be able to catch up. So I'm going to focus a lot on anatomy the next couple of days because that needs to stick up in here.
Yeah, it is quite a lot.
Yeah. So I need a lot of repetition in there.
Yeah, exactly. So I know you kind of mentioned you're kind of steering away from the learning objectives, but like has any studying or learning strategies have changed?
Not really, because I think I still study the best when I am in a group setting or like when I'm being spoken to. I like seem to grasp it a lot better when my peers explain it to me in like lay terms, so that way I can understand it.
Okay, so more of interactive, kind of like talking through the material. Okay,
for sure.
Yeah, we can try. We can make that more of a more of a learning
strategy. Yeah.
Okay, so kind of so what have you enjoyed the most? Kind of steering away from like so much studying, but like when have you most enjoyed this past month in school and everything?
I don't know if it's not like really pertaining to school, but I've been really enjoying until winter comes, but I've really been enjoying like the fall season. I'm from California, so I'm very used to like the warm weather, and recently things are starting to like cool down. I remember I was walking my canine educator Her name's Scout. She's a cute girl, yellow lab. And my thighs were super numb from walking her in the morning. So I think like experiencing that has been something that I've been enjoying. Academically, though, I think I've been enjoying just getting to know my like everybody in my class a little bit more and then learning from other people like their different study skills or like their study skills or like their study tips and just like seeing so we had like an event on Friday night where we went to go see like emergency cases talked about and like how that was discussed through like their thought process and everything. And it was really cool to see how applicable ANI is to like real life because I wasn't really seeing how it was applicable. So after that, I was like, okay, I see now. Like, it makes sense, like why we do all the things that we do in ANI. So I enjoyed that.
And then, for our viewers who are not very familiar with ANI, can you describe like what kind of ANI is and like how it works?
ANI is a class that we all take like for first years, and then I think like the first semester as a second year. And it's where we will be presented a case and we have to discuss in our group how to like break it down and then get to the diagnosis. So it'll present us with like a presenting complaint, like whether it's a cat or a dog that comes into the clinic, and I'm like the veterinarian or like the group is like the veterinarian together. And there's a presenting complaint as to why that animal is in the clinic, and then like how old it is, and like the single mint, which is basically the age, breed, and like whether it's intact or not intact. And then it also gives us like a little bit of a history. So then we have to like dive into that. Okay, where was the animal? What was the animal doing? And we had to think about all these different things that could possibly lead to the diagnosis. It's really cool. It's just a lot
Yeah,
of diving in.
it's really interesting. You kind of work on cases, kind of like if you're practicing, that's really cool. And especially work
Yeah,
in a team and everything. That's very exciting. Well, I'm
yeah.
glad that it's kind of all connecting now and you're enjoying the fall weather. And I also know you mentioned last podcast that VSAC and histology is kind of one of your favorite classes. So what's kind of been the most interesting thing that you've been learning, and if there's any other classes you've kind of also been enjoying?
So I still love VSEC all the way through and through. I probably will say that till the end of this podcast. However, histology, I take it back. I take it back. It's not my favorite subject. It's just a lot of I don't know, it's really hard for me. At the beginning, I was like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense. That is like a simple squamous epithelial cell or like something like that." And then once we started getting into the connective tissue is like when I started to like lose and the nervous tissue. I was like, "Ooh, you're harder than I thought you were gonna be." Um, but yeah, it's still cool. I really enjoy learning from Dr. Turek. He's an amazing instructor or professor. And he knows how to like bring the class like whenever like we're low in energy, he knows how to bring it up with like his dad jokes or things like that. So I really enjoy learning from him. And that's probably the reason why I still really like histology because of him.
Well, okay. Well, I'm glad there's a change of heart, but that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
So, kind of going on that, or it can be any other class. Like, what's kind of been your like best lab that you've done so far?
My best what?
The best lab, like
Lab.
any anatomy, VSAC, any wet labs you've done with your clubs?
I haven't done any wet labs yet with my clubs. I think I would say the only real lab that is hands-on as of right now is anatomy. I don't really think any of our other labs are as hands-on as I would like them to be. But yeah, with anatomy lab, I really enjoy it because we get to see the like all of the structures of the body of the animal and like in real life, like where it's like what's the word? Like where it's touchable. I don't know the correct word for that. But it's like tangible. It's there, it's in front of us, and it's something that I'm not just looking at a screen and trying to envision in my head. I'm a very hands-on person. I learn the best through hands-on learning. So it's been a little bit hard because there's not always going to be something that's going to be catering to my learnings, like my best learning strategies. So anatomy though, it does. So I think that's why I really enjoy the labs and everything.
Okay, well, I'm glad. So, kind of steering away from school, let's talk a bit more about personal life and how you've been taking care of yourself. So, kind of talk to us. Have you been sleeping well? Have you been eating, exercising? Kind of just give us an update.
I was doing pretty well until those three exams. But I kept up my eating pretty well because thankfully due to like meal prepping, I kind of over meal prepped the past 2 weeks. I ended up eating like the same meals for like more than a week.
What'd you make?
I had some tuna salad and then I also made like a shrimp scampi kind of pasta. I could eat pasta every day, so it didn't bother me too much. But the tuna, like, I kind of got over it. Like, by the sixth day, I was like, okay, I want something else, but it's okay. I just didn't want my food to go wasted, so that like helped me keep up with my eating. However, with the exercising, I was going to the gym pretty regularly, but it just came to it like, where do I want to do well in my studies or do I just want to keep? And believe me, I like going to the gym because it helps me mentally, but I had to sacrifice it for a little bit so that way I can do better um academically. And that also comes with a little bit of sacrificing your sleep. So yeah, the last week wasn't like the best that I've been, but thankfully this week it's been better.
Yeah, so I'm glad that this week is kind of calming down so you kind of get back to your routine that you had previously before it got too
Yeah.
hectic. So, have you done anything for yourself since the last?
Yeah, I actually went to two concerts. So,
Ooh, what'd you
yeah.
go see? Yes.
I went to go see this artist. She's a Latina artist called Becky G. And then I went to see like a Christian band that I grew up listening to called Casting Crowns. So it was cool.
Oh, nice. That's
Hmm.
exciting. That's good. I get
Yeah.
away from school, kind of, listen to some music and some. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that.
It was super cool.
Perfect. So, kind of telling our audience, what would be a goal that you will set for next month?
I think I'm gonna start doing it that I don't. My goal would be to not do an assignment the night before it's due. So even if it's only 2 nights prior to it being due, that's gonna be something that is good for me, and I'm gonna work to make that a habit of mine.
Okay, we cannot wait for an update for next time. So, what has also been your biggest win in the past month?
Mm, my biggest win. Not too sure, actually. Let me think. 'Cause last time I said my biggest win was that I got my license plate registered, and then yeah. So that was my biggest win last time, but I don't really know what my biggest win has been since then. I feel like the last 2 weeks was mainly like studying, so my life was kind of just revolving around that for a little while. So I'm not too sure.
It's okay. I mean, getting through the weeks and going having fun to your concert, I think that's probably the biggest
Actually, you're
excitement.
right. You're right. That's a win.
Okay, and then is there anything else you want to share to the audience? Any words of encouragement, inspiration?
I can make it through vet school. You can too.
Well, I'm glad. As long as you put in a lot of hard work, anyone can do it. So I'm
Yeah.
glad. I kind of want to thank you again so much for being on the show. If you can learn more about the League of VetaHumans at VetaHumanz.org. If you like this episode, please subscribe, rate, and share with your friends. And remember, use your powers for good.
Okay.